All right, guys, back with another video for you today and talking about another group of really awesome fragrance deals for you. So really highly discounted fragrances. So I wanted to talk about something I reported on last week. And I want to mention that when I shoot these videos, sometimes I shoot them 2 or 3 days in advance. So if you saw a product that I mentioned in these videos and you can't find it anymore, it's because they sell out. For example, I started putting the notes together for this video, this one I'm shooting today, about 4 days ago. And there was a product in here that I was going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it, but sadly it's already discontinued. So if you see these videos pop up, which I'll be doing at least once a week for you guys with great deals on fragrances, take advantage of the promotions or discounts, the highly discounted fragrances ASAP before they run out. So let's get started with the list. I'm going to go to the house of Jacques FATH first. I actually reported on Jacques FATH fragrances several months ago, and they had a lot of great fragrances at really excellent discounted prices. Well, a lot of those sold out, but there's 2 more remaining, and I'm going to talk to you about them right now and let you know what their prices are and what they smell like. So a lot of them were, as I said, highly discounted. There were fragrances for under $30 for 50 ml. And there's only 2 remaining, and a 50 ml is $32 and 100 ml is $82. And these 2 are discontinued. So if you are a fan of these or you've never tried them and they're really great prices, as you can see, take advantage of the promotions. The first fragrance is L'Oreille du Bois by Jacques FATH. Again, highly discounted and also discontinued. So these won't be around much longer because the rest of the collection did sell out, and these will eventually run out and sell out as well. So this is 50 ml 32. This is the 50 ml size. And I'm going to show you the next fragrance, the only 2 remaining, and it's good that I have one in a 50 ml and one in a 100 ml to show you the different sizes. This is actually smelling like honeyed mimosa flowers. So it's sweet, it's powdery, it's floral, yellow flower highlighted. And if you like the idea of this gorgeous spring flower, I mean, we're headed towards spring, and I think usually this flower kind of blooms around February. This is the time of the year that I see the flower. So that's what it is basically. It's the mimosa flower, very prominent, which already has honey touches, and it also has some almondy touches as well. So it's highlighted here with a syrupy, sticky honey note, and there's also spices running throughout it. I think the mimosa has some nuances of almondy, nutty touches, but as I said, it's quite powdery. So that is L'Oreille du Bois. Again, the price on this, 50 ml, $32, and 100 ml, $82. And I should specify that these promotions are tagged throughout the video. When I'm talking about a specific fragrance, the product should pop up, and you can click on it, and it'll take you to the specific retailer that I'm tagging. So here is a 100 ml of the next fragrance from the same house. This is Rosso EPICURIO. This is L'Oreille du Bois. So 100 ml of both of them are 82. 50 ml of both of them are 32. So those are the price differences. So let's talk a little bit about Rosso EPICURIO. Again, both of these are discontinued fragrances. So once they run out, they will no longer be selling. So if you're a collector of discontinued fragrances like I am, definitely something you should check out. This to me is a tuberose fragrance. You can totally smell the tuberose, but I feel like it's laced with something fruity and earthy and giving me a little bit of a mulled wine experience. I think the fruits in here against the tuberose kind of comes off that way. Between the 2, I prefer the L'Oreille du Bois because I do enjoy mimosa. I do enjoy honey. This is not bad. Tuberose I'm having some challenging times with recently. Although this is a pretty modern tuberose, there's also something in here a bit more like orange blossom. And sometimes tuberose kind of tricks my nose. So there's a kind of a clean, soapy effect happening in Rosso EPICURIO as well. So either way, just highlighting these two that they're still remaining and they're still selling, but most likely these will run out very fast. So if you're in the market for anything discontinued, you're a collector, or you like a great deal on fragrances, definitely take advantage of those two Jacques FATH fragrances, because once they sell out, they'll be gone and it'll be hard to find them. I mean, eventually you'll probably find them, but they'll completely disappear once, you know, there's no stock out there. So let's move on to a fragrance that I had reported on completely being discontinued about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but looks like it was only discontinued in the States. It was actually removed from the YSL website. I'm talking about Opium Pour Homme. I do see some stock out there. And if you're a fan of this awesome spicy men's fragrance that launched in the mid-90s, created by Jacques Cavalier, definitely get your hands on this fragrance. It's definitely one of my favorites, and I'm glad to have it. It's right here. Opium Pour Homme came out around 20 years after the ladies launched. And again, created by Jacques Cavalier, who does a lot of the Louis Vuitton fragrances now. But there's testers on promotion for $70 and full retail, full presentation with the box, $86. And it's, for a while it was completely disappeared. There was no stock out there at discounters. It's now back. I remember it completely being removed, unless they brought it back, but I don't see it much out there. But it's a great fragrance, super spicy, soft, spicy, warm, spicy with anise, star anise in there. And eventually it's a bit ambery. I mean, if you like anise, you got to definitely check this one out. I think that's the highlight for me. I love that note. And it's a designer men's fragrance from the 90s. It definitely has that 90s kind of touch to it. But I actually absolutely really love this one. And glad to have it. And if you're in the market, definitely check it out. It's Opium Pour Homme for the guys. To me, this one's a bit more modern than what the women's smells like now. The women's does smell a little bit like one of the Estee Lauder fragrances. Drawing a blank with the name right now. We'll come back to that later. But the YSL Opium Pour Homme is super awesome. So check that out before they are completely gone. Up next, I'm talking about a Hugo Boss, the collection fragrance. It's called Elegant Vetiver. And this is a collection of fragrances that didn't truly catch on in the States. In fact, it launched in 2021. I never saw them in the States. I first discovered the collection in Dubai at the duty-free at their airport. Instantly loved the musk, and I bought it because it reminded me of Deodorant, Parfums Deodorant Intense, mixed with the zoologist perfumes, the bee, or bee, I should say, not the bee. And so really fell in love with that one. That one's never appeared at the discounters, but this Elegant Vetiver is $90 for 100 ml, and original price is $275. So it's kind of a nutty vetiver once again. If you like the idea of vetiver, it's very masculine leaning. There's a slight pistachio twist in it, so adds a kind of a nuttiness, but it's not super strong. Like if you're familiar with Caron's Aimez-moi comme je suis, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, that has the hazelnut. This one has a slight nuttiness of the pistachio. It actually blends pretty nicely with the fragrance. So this collection, again, as I said, didn't really catch on. I think this might be on its way out, the entire collection. But if you like a vetiver fragrance with that slight nuttiness, I mean, the vetiver has that kind of grassy, earthy woodiness. There's a slight damp from it with it as well. But I think the nuttiness kind of freshens it up a little bit. Adds a nice contrast and slight sweetness, nutty sweetness to the mostly grassy kind of, earthy, woody note of vetiver. Try that. $90 for 100 ml. And the collection traditionally sells for $275. And it comes in a case like that. So that's a good one to check out. Now, the fragrance, as I was saying earlier, that I had added to the list 4 days ago and it ran out. The collection of fragrances, the Gourmands, that Parfums de Nicolai launched. My favorite is Saint Honore, and it was selling for $117. Normally it's $235, but sadly, it's already come and gone. So I'm just bringing it up here to let you know. But the other two fragrances in the Gourmands collection from Nicolai are still available at great discounted prices. I think the one I'm going to highlight as a better deal is Pavlova right here. It's $117. Normally it's $235. It's a fruity gourmand. I would say it's kind of creamy, and I think it's got pineapple in the notes. It's a dessert that's somewhat tasty, I think. I love sweets. But for me, out of the three, Saint Honore was really awesome. In fact, I featured it in a creamy fragrances video. If you haven't caught that, please catch that video. So the pineapple stands out. To me, this also smells like pineapple upside down cake because I've made them before. I've never made Pavlova. And the pineapple in here with that kind of creaminess and sweetness gives me a little bit of that idea. But I feel like this is fresher pineapple, not so glazed and, you know, cooked because the pineapple is cooked for a pineapple upside down cake. But I like I said, I prefer Saint Honore more, but this is not, it's a pretty solid offering from the house if you appreciate fragrances that are highlighting the pineapple note. So that is Pavlova, $117, normally $235, and it's not a tester. I will let you guys know when I'm talking about testers because we do have a few here. It should come in a box like this. And then the second one, it's a little more expensive. It's Macaron Bourbon, 100 ml for $135. And this one's paying tribute to the macaroons that are very famous in France. I do tend to eat some when I go there. It's interesting also, the color of Saint Honore has gotten darker, the juice. But again, that one is completely out of stock at the discounter. So, but let's talk a little bit about the Macaron Bourbon. I think this is my least favorite of the bunch. It's a gourmand with a kind of a rosy, oudy touch, which doesn't quite act like a gourmand, but there's definitely gourmand notes in it. It has rose, because the macaron is known for rose. I should say AKRO did a better job with their macaron-focused fragrance. This one just, if you want gourmand, this doesn't act like gourmand to me. It's more like rose and oud combo with the sweeter touches in there. That's why it's my least favorite. And it's interesting that it's also more expensive than what the Saint Honore was selling at, and of course what the Pavlova is selling at. But just highlighting it for you guys in case you're interested in that one, because they were $235 and now they're discounted. But let's move on to Van Cleef & Arpels Encens Presso, which is this. Encens Presso came out, I think it came out in 2024. It's a Jordi Fernandez creation. Or was it 2025? It's Jordi Fernandez. This collection originally sells for $305. So this is selling for $75. I'm sorry, $115 for a 75 ml. It's a 75 ml bottle. So it's peppery, it's very spicy, it's resinous, it's ambery, smoky. And, you know, if you're familiar with fragrances like Comme des Garçons, Incense Avignon, you're going to appreciate this. And, of course, if you like the creations of Jordi Fernandez, you will like this. It does have a slight touch of, I think there's not a lot of sweetness here. And it kind of reminds me of that kind of an idea of something like Comme des Garçons, maybe Full Incense by Montal, maybe the Javoy, La Liturgie des... Is that... I think that's Javoy. There's also one from Orza El Legrand. These kind of incense fragrances that I'm familiar with, it does have a hint of that. But I should say it's not very sweet. It develops into a little bit of a Middle Eastern styling, but I think Jordi did a great job on it. Encens Presso from the house of Van Cleef & Arpels, normally $305. And right now it is selling for $115 for 75 ml. They only come in 75 ml bottles, by the way. Up next, going to the AKRO house, it's Infuse. This is a tester, 100 ml for $90. Infuse is AKRO's tea fragrance. And there is this tea fragrance has a slight, for me, it's tea with a milkiness. Like there's something soft and creamy inside it. I used to drink tea with milk or some kind of a cream. I don't do it much now. I do like sweet. I like my coffee to be sweetened with the milk or the, the oat milk that I use lately. But normally I don't sweeten my coffees. The tea, I do kind of like it sweeter. And this is kind of sweet and also a little bit creamy. Like there's a soft creaminess. But you can really, really highlight the tea in this fragrance. There's a very cozy effect happening with this one, and I think it's contributing from the fact that there's oops, sorry about that. The fact that there's creaminess here, and also a little bit of a sweetness, the gourmand touches. But for me, I find creamy fragrances to be super cozy, very comforting, and then also, milky, kind of creamy fragrances as well. So this is a great price for $90, 100 ml bottle. Normally, they sell for $185. So Infuse by AKRO is a great deal for a tester. That is a tester. And we've got another tester here, XERJOFF's Lira, 100 ml, $145. Normally 100 ml for $330. So it's more than 50% off. And this to me is a sweet citrusy caramel gourmand. Sugary, sticky, sweet, super yummy. It's definitely my very first XERJOFF that I bought. It's definitely the very first one I bought. And it was a Casamorati, because this is part of the Casamorati collection, not part of the original XERJOFF collection. And I really enjoy, this is also very cozy, sticky, sugary, caramelly, gourmand fragrance. And of course, you really notice the orange that it's, mixed with or, blended with or created with. So it kind of freshens it up and doesn't make the fragrance super thick and dense and sticky, like super sticky. But definitely, again, still really wonderful offering. One of the very first gourmands, like full-on gourmand fragrances, because I bought my first bottle in 2013. And still enjoy that smell. I really enjoy that citrusy laced, sticky, caramelly, gourmand scent that the Lira is. And it's a very popular one for the house of XERJOFF Casamorati. So that's Lira. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. I do want to highlight this one as well. It's CARTHUSIA's Terra Mia, this right here. And to me, I guess it's influenced or inspired by fragrances like Intense Cafe. But to me, this reminds me more of something like the Discontinued Atelier Cologne fragrance called Cafe Tuberosa. The coffee in here is similar to that. But, there's noses pick up different things, because this might remind you of Intense Cafe. It doesn't come off creamy to me. It comes off more like coffee grounds. Mixed in with rose and some slight nutty notes. I think there's hazelnuts featured in this fragrance as well. But it's super delicious. This is actually selling as a 50 ml for $50. And 100 ml sells for $155 suggested retail price. So I thought that was a pretty good price for that to let you guys know about. I wish Cafe Tuberosa was still selling. Sadly, it got discontinued before Atelier Cologne was completely pulled out of the States. That's definitely it's actually, I enjoy that one a little bit more than Intense Cafe. Maybe because it's gone and it's no longer around. That's why I enjoy it a little more. But I have like a bottle, and then I have maybe a backup bottle of it, and I'm using it very, sparingly. But CARTHUSIA Terra Mia, 50 ml for $50. I think it's a great price if you like a coffee rose kind of a gourmand. Up next, we've got a fragrance from the house of Floris, one of my favorites. It's Honey Oud. Honey Oud normally suggested retail sells for $270. It's 100 ml for $85. This was all the rage around 12, 13 years ago. And they also launched a fragrance called Leather Oud, which was around the same time as Dior's Leather Oud. They were night and day difference. For me, Leather Oud from Floris was similar to this, but not as honeyed. It was more ambery. And Leather Oud from Dior was super animalic, really, really dirty, very fecal, which later got discontinued. But Honey Oud also came out around the same time as Montal's Honey Oud, but Montal wrote it A-O-U-D, where this is O-U-D. And again, they're completely different. This is more honeyed and more syrupy, sticky, but you also smell the rose. There's rose here for sure. And you also smell the oud, but it's a Western oud. It's not animalic whatsoever. Same with the honey oud from Montal, but I felt like this was a bit more syrupy, honeyed. And for me, with Montal's, I got more woods and spices, not so much of the honey. But this is a super awesome scent for me. It's almost like taking your traditional rose oud combo fragrance and dripping and drizzling honey on it, covering up and making it a bit syrupy, sticky. So it sweetens it up. But really love that smell. It's $85, as I said, for 100 ml. Great price for a oudi. I wouldn't say super gourmand, but I guess the honeyed sweet touches do create a gourmand effect, which, again, I wouldn't say it's super gourmand. This next one's also a great deal. It's Nishane's Suede at Saffron, 50 ml for $85. This is an extrait de parfum fragrance. It's not a tester. The previous one was also not a tester. But Suede at Saffron, it's a leather fragrance. In the end, it does have the idea of Tuscan leather, ombre leather, but it's super intense and concentrated. And I think in this one also, the saffron's been, amplified, intensified. So you definitely have that kind of a metallic, fabric-y kind of an effect that I get from saffron. And they create a leather accord from saffron, so they use it as a spice. So it's very, very spicy. But underneath it all, there is a light fruitiness as well. I think this is one of Nishane's more underrated fragrances. I think maybe because it does have the similarities to something like Tuscan leather, but it's actually really quality, really awesome. From Nishane. The smell is really great. If you are looking for something like Tuscan leather, ombre leather, but much more intense, this is extrait de parfum. Check that out. It's 50 ml for $85. That's a really great price for that, I think. And then this deal is pretty interesting. This is a fragrance from the house of Caron called YUZU Man. There is a gift set with this. 100 ml, $40, and it also comes with a deodorant. I think this is in the ballpark of something like L'Odyssée pour Homme. I don't think you can see it, but let me show you. It's 100 ml, $40 is quite lovely. This does seem like it's lighter and a bit saltier, so it doesn't have the sweetness that the L'Odyssée pour Homme does. But in the end, it's that citrusy, bitter, kind of astringent take on something like L'Odyssée pour Homme. But it is a really great deal, $40 for this with a deodorant stick. So it's a gift set that's highly discounted. I don't know. It's a offering from Caron. In fact, it has that same kind of frosted glass effect. So as you can see. So yeah, they're similar, but there's differences. I think this is a bit less citrusy. It's more bitter and a bit more astringent and less sweet compared to the L'Odyssée pour Homme. And also the L'Odyssée pour Homme is also kind of got more of an aquatic effect. They don't have that here. And I think that was one of Jacques Cavalier's very first, aquatic creations, which I think he's carried on to the fragrances of Louis Vuitton. So anyway, Caron's Yuzu Man 100 ml $40 with that deodorant in a gift set. And then I'm going to talk to you about two fragrances from AKRO di Parma that are also highly discounted. And the other thing is, as I was looking these up, I noticed that they're no longer making 50 mLs of these fragrances. They're only making 30 ml, 100 ml, 180 ml, and 500 ml. So I have the 100 and... Whoa. Oh, I guess I have 150 ml, as you can see right there. I'm going to pause and check to make sure. Okay, so I just double checked and it's weird. So FICO, let's show you FICO. So FICO comes in a 30 ml, 100 ml, and 180 ml. Whereas Mirto de Panarea comes in a 30 ml, 100 ml, 180 ml, and 500 ml. I have these bottles at 150 ml, so they've changed the size of this bottle, and it's now 180 ml, but only the Mirto comes in the 500, not the FICO. But they no longer have the 50 mLs. You can get the 50 mLs now of both of these fragrances, $70. Normally the 100 ml is $215. So that's the difference in price. So you can get FICO de Amalfi, 50 ml $70, 100 ml is normally $215. And what does FICO de Amalfi smell like? Figs. It's a sweet, fruity, figgy, fresh fragrance. This is part of the Blue Mediterraneo collection that come in these blue bottles. And it's a perfect, uplifting, happy, summer-themed fragrance, focusing on the fruits of the figs, but I feel like there's also some, greenness, the leaves thrown in as well. Really one of the best fig fragrances out there. I thought FICO de Amalfi would be more popular, and the fact that Mirto has a 500 ml, which is weird. That's a really large size. I thought the FICO would have a 500 ml, but I guess it doesn't. I guess Mirto is more popular. I like both. Mirto de Panarea is focusing on the myrtle flower, one of most unique floral notes that doesn't really smell like a flower that's traditional. It's more spicy, kind of herbal almost, and they've really captured it here perfectly. It's a great flower from the Mediterranean, I think. And I remember as a kid, when I was young, we had a myrtle plant, and it actually has these berries on them that are also kind of flavored similar to the myrtle flower, because smell and taste kind of go hand in hand. So I do remember that the plant, the flower, and the berries that it produces. But they do have the Mirto de Panarea as well, 50 ml, $70. Again, the 50 mLs no longer are selling, so they'll be gone once they're gone. And then the sizing will be 30 ml, 100 ml, 180 ml, and I guess a few of them will have a 500 ml bottle as well. Anyway, take advantage of those. That's the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about. I got a few bonus options that I'm going to talk to you about in the bonus section as well. But hopefully you guys will take advantage of these discounts if you are looking for something new, as they are really, really great prices. Let me know if you've discovered anything recently. Add a comment below. And don't forget, these are tagged by timestamp. There's timestamps or chapters in the info box. If you're looking for a specific product, you can click on it. And when you click on the product, there should be a button that pops up on the screen with the product itself, and it'll take you to the specific discounter that is selling the fragrance. But thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, list below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please also click that bell icon so it helps with the algorithm, and also give a thumbs up for this video so it'll help the algorithm reach more people to watch this video. Anyway guys, see you later, and stick around for a few bonus things as well. So last week or the week before, I actually noticed this fragrance. I didn't really mention it, but now that I have received it, I'm going to talk to you guys about it. I spoke about this fragrance that's in this box. See, there's no addresses here. That's in this box. And also another fragrance it launched with in a video of upcoming fragrances. It's been, you know, like six or so months. It's from the house of Gritti, and it's a fragrance called Muscaria, and the other one's called Vanilla Taha. So I saw the Muscaria online at $150, and I bought it for, well, it's normally 100 ml for $335. I paid $150 for it. So it's delivered, and I'm going to go ahead and open it, but I noticed that I don't have a slicer, so I'm going to pause and grab that. Okay, I've got my slicer, so let's go ahead and dig in to this package. A couple of receipts and things. If you guys already have sampled this fragrance, let me know. I wish the vanilla was available, but I couldn't find that. But I like musk, and I love musk, and I also love vanilla. But the musk was the one that was available at the great discounted price of $150 for 100 ml. Remember, this is $335, so it's a more than 50% discount, and it is a blind buy, so I'll see if it's good or not. But if you've got experience with this, let me know. Do add a comment below. Here it is, Muscaria. Muscaria, let's see. I have high hopes for this one. I like the brand. It's not one of my favorites. Let's see. So this is $335 suggested retail for 100 ml. It's $150 for 100 ml. Wow, it's quite ambery. This is actually more amber. Whoa. Yeah, this is very much an amber. Where's the musk? I mean, as an amber, I really love it, but where is the musk? Is it supposed to have musk? Anybody know? I didn't really research much, and it's been a while since I've posted that video with announcing the launch of these fragrances. So I don't remember exactly what the deal was, but there's no place for me to go sample Gritti fragrances, and so I had to do a blind buy on this. But I felt like $150 for Muscaria was a great deal compared to $335. Oh, it's musky. Oh, it's getting musky. But it's good, guys. It's pretty intense. Is it an extrait de parfum? Yes. It's an extrait de parfum, as you can see. Oh, yeah. There's a slight chocolatiness. There's some brightness. Very resinous. I think this is more of an amber than musk, but it's a combo. What's winning out is the amber, but it is developing into more of a musk. That's super delicious. All right, we'll be putting this to use, and then I'll talk about it in future or upcoming videos. Let me know if you have experience with Muscaria. I'm also going to talk to you guys about one more fragrance. This is not a super deal because it's over $200, but its suggested retail is $411. And it's definitely one of my favorite fragrances from the house of Caron. We were talking about two Caron fragrances here. It's Tabac Exquis for $235. If you buy it directly from the Caron website, it's $411. Really, really expensive for a suggested retail price. And if you guys don't know this one, it's a warm, spicy, chocolatey tobacco fragrance. Super, super yummy, delicious. It's so good. In fact, between the Muscaria and the Tabac Exquis, I prefer the smell of this. This is so yummy. I only wish that this was stronger. It was like as strong and potent as Muscaria's extrait de parfum. But the smell is just superb. You get the dirty ashiness of the tobacco, nicely blended with the warm spices of cinnamon and chocolate and cacao mixed together. Oh, it's really delicious. I have recommended this so much. on the channel. It's definitely one of my favorite fragrances. If you haven't got your nose on this one, please do. I recommend it. If you like the idea of tobacco vanille and you want a twist rather than vanilla, not that there isn't vanilla in here, there must be some vanilla notes in there, but they're highlighting the chocolate against the tobacco. So it's kind of like a tobacco vanille, but tobacco chocolat or something like that. But that is Tabac Exquis from the house of CARON. Again, normally that's $411, but it's 100 ml for $235, a great price. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. See you later. Bye-bye.